Hi, my name is Colette Simeon. You might know me from stand-up comedy, and I'm out here doing the news to my knowledge. I'm actually kind of seeing if somebody would want to jump in the video so I can interview them about the news to their knowledge, because I'll give you the news to my knowledge so far. First of all, Newsweek released a report yesterday saying that we have not reached pandemic state for COVID-19, but you might want to start stockpiling some stuff. I don't know about you, but normally when people make press releases to tell you that you might want to stockpile stuff, that means things are bad enough that you really ought to be stockpiling this stuff. But this is also a process to see if they can do this in a calm way and not ensue panic, as what happened in Hong Kong and the most of mainland China. If you don't know what's going on in Hong Kong and mainland China, in Hong Kong, you have to go outside with a face mask, and people were so desperate for supplies, they were stealing toilet paper, mass people stealing toilet paper from grocery stores. If you don't know about the crime rate of Hong Kong, it's pretty low. In fact, the most murders they've had in a year are 3. And they hardly ever have armed robberies. There's no guns in the country. So that's panic, folks. I mean, I feel bad for people there because they went from a phase where people were protesting, shutting down the central business district, and that sort of thing for suffrage. And now they've gone to a pandemic where nobody can really go outside. They say that this is affecting markets, Asian markets, and the Dow Jones dropped 800 points yesterday due to this. But it seems that the Hong Kong stock market has held kind of stable in the midst of all the chaos. Other notable things that have happened this week is we had a debate last night. I have mixed emotions about the debate practices in this country, because it would seem that since 2016, if you win a debate in this country, it doesn't mean anything. As you saw last go around, Hillary Clinton kind of like smoked Donald Trump on all debates, and he still became the president of our country, despite not winning the popular vote, but using an antiquated system called the Electoral College. The Electoral College was invented to kind of keep the votes of brown people down while making sure that people who own land in our country were able to have a higher vote than other people. Right now, with this process, you don't get enough delegates in higher population states to really offset voting. So if we're looking at somebody looking for a technical win, as they did in 2016, I would say that's highly possible. Right now in America, we are facing a lot of hard truths about our history, our present, and our future. Our history, because lots of people have come up with reasons to not give out reparations, like a basic income, and Marianne Williamson was the only person to actually have a plan for reparations. I actually read the document for Bloomberg's plan to integrate the system and make it better for minorities, but I don't trust it personally because he is the king of capitalism. Have you ever watched Bloomberg? Have you ever seen it? I'm going to give you Bloomberg in short. There's lots of ticker tapes of all the stock markets running around. They usually have an interview with somebody who runs an oil company or some sort of energy company every day, talking about how they are digging up stuff, selling raw materials, and making buku money off of it, and how other people with buku money should invest with it. Bloomberg is kind of like the news for the super rich, which there's nothing wrong with being super rich in this country. I mean, we make it possible, but there's something wrong with the super rich running everything. My personal take on it. So going back to the front runner and the Democratic primary process, we have the person with the most delegates, Bernie Sanders, who is a Democratic socialist. being a democratic socialist, Bernie Sanders wants Medicaid for all and other safety nets that we kind of used to have under Roosevelt, but we don't have anymore. They're slowly being cut more and more and more to go to defense things, but not really infrastructure. We've cut out arts and culture, which I would say, as a person who's lived overseas as an American, our biggest export is arts and culture. Everyone in the world listens to our music. Everyone in the world buys our brands. You can't go to any country without seeing a Gap, a Banana Republic, or something of that nature that comes from America. Our American style is one of our biggest exports. So we have a small problem here, America. What are we going to do about it? Also, in other news, a bit of Poland, a large amount of Poland has been declared an anti-LGBT realm where it is okay to commit hate crimes. As we look at the world as a whole, we see a rise of racism, fascism, not understanding, and a lack of human touch. This kind of floors me and gives me a pause for concern, just because we fought so hard. And in the rise of the early internet and the rise of people having voices, we reached a point where many people were open-minded towards other people. Lately, there's been a rise on racism and uncaring, and that concerns me to the point where I'm sitting here doing this blog called The News to My Knowledge. I am trying to see if anybody will bite for an interview to give me the news to their knowledge, but people are mostly ignoring me because, well, it is DC. A lot of these people do have government jobs, and we do have like a bad president. I mean, very bad.